close all of this. Okay, so now we have this pre-construct. We have the construct and event tech. Now, pre-construct is something that's specific to your UMG widgets, but construct is something very similar to what we have as event begin play in other blueprints. So we're going to use this. So this is audio and animation. So I'm first going to drag this and get fade, right? And then I'll simply say play this animation, play animation, right? And there are multiple playback values that you have that you can do things with. The playback speed, so what kind of play mode it needs to be, should it be forward, reverse, or ping pong, and how many loops you want to play. Now, the only thing that I'm gonna change here is I'm gonna be making this to play twice, right? I just want to check it out. Why not? So I'll just hit compile, and of course it's not going to play anything because this is not being shown anywhere yet. Now you have to think, where exactly do you want to show? Now we have this, okay, it's taking damage, right? And this is where you have the take damage 5%. So you can show this here, or you can show it anywhere else, but I would suggest that I would recommend that this is the best place to show the damage effect, because this is the character, the player is being hurt, so you need to show the damage out here, right here. So before actually doing that, I'm going to duplicate this a bunch of times. So I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to make this 10%. 10%. Uh-oh. I'm going to make this 10%. And then I'm going to duplicate this again and make this 11%, and control W, and this will be not 11, sorry, this will be 15%, and this would be, let's say, 20%, 20, right? So we got 5%, 10%, 15%, and 20%. Now the reason we are doing this is this could be something like a weapon, which is a pistol. This could be something like, I don't know, a bigger weapon, maybe a UMG or something, you know, uh, and then this might be something like a assault rifle, and this might be something like a shotgun, which has a bigger spread, and close quarters it does a lot of damage. Okay, so that's the reason I'm changing this all to 5, 10, 15, and 20. We'll use that later on for different weapons when we get there, but for now I'll just change this. This will be 0.1, so that'll be 10%, and this will be 0.15. Okay, that'll be 15%, and the last one would be 0.2, which indicates 20%. 0.20, right? So once we compile that and save that, so first we'll check this damage effect for the 5%, and if it works, then we'll take that across to the other damage functions as well. So what we have to do here is we first have to get the player controller, right? Get the player controller, and then we have to say create widget. Okay, and the widget that we want to create is damage effect, right? And then of course we have to add to viewport. There you go, right? So now when you compile this and save this, when this widget gets created, it'll first trigger off the event construct node, and it knows what to do. It just needs to play the fade animation twice in its regular speed, right? So when I go back here and I hit play, and when I go inside, it's not going to do anything. That's because if you go back here, that's because we have a branch, and we are saying, we are checking whether if it's less than 0, and if it's true, then we go ahead and do all of this, and if it's false, we are doing nothing. So we'll change that. So we'll do that for the false as well. So I think I'll just move this a little bit ahead like this, and these guys can move a little behind. Now just move this guy a little bit up like that, and now for the false, we're gonna do the same thing. So I think I can move this guy and this guy towards the bottom like that, then I can reach out to the false node, and then I just connect that to this, and everything should work as expected. So I hit compile, I hit save, and I go play, and nothing happening right now. And I walk inside the volume, you can see that it's happening, and the longer you stay inside, the more intense it gets. Now when I jump out, the whole effect goes away. Again, when I jump inside and there you go. I can see that I'm being hurt, and then again I walk out and everything is gone. Now it still stays there because it still has to play that animation. Okay, and it has to complete that animation. It's not going to stop abruptly, but it's looking good. This is what we want. Every time you're getting hit, you are seeing this red, so it blurs your vision, and that adds an amount, that adds an element of challenge to the game. Okay, because when you're getting hit, it's not that nothing is going to happen. Either your camera shakes, or this thing comes up. You can add a bunch of things. You can think of a camera shake when you get hit, or obviously, I mean, someone is going to flinch. A person, when he gets hit by a bullet, that person is going to flinch. So instead of flinching, or instead of those animations, we are using a UMG or a UI to denote being hit, denote player taking impact. Okay, so this thing works, but it's still a little odd for me. It's happening twice, and when I jump out, it still stays there. That's because there are two. It has to play twice, and also it has to complete it, because it takes about a second for each animation to complete. Now, the easiest fix for that is to go back to your damage effect, and instead of making this 2, I'll just make this 1. Okay, and compile that, and come back here, and when I hit play, I'll just first run around everything and check that everything is fine. And now when I run into this from here, and there you can see that it's happening once, and when I jump out, it's happening. Okay, wait, and I think it did not save that, so it's 1, and when I hit play, and there you go, and it just happened once. Okay, and just a quick flash. Okay, and if you want, you can shorten the period of the animation. There you go, and I jump out quickly, and that's because it's still playing this particular animation. It's still playing this particular animation. Now, of course, I can make this. This is 1 second. Maybe I can make this half of it. So I can copy this, and I can drag this somewhere here. This would be 0.25. Okay, and then this can again be dragged to 0.5, like that. Now let's see, and I don't think I need this, so I can right click, or I can just say I'll just drag this here like this. So that's about half a second. It's a quick flash, and bam bam bam, and just hit, and then back to 0. Right, so when I hit compile, save that, when I hit play, I go inside, and bam bam bam. Okay, right, so that's how it works. And when I go back here, and the playback speed is all okay, and everything is fine. Come back here, it when it goes to false, it does that same thing. So everything works fine. I think I'm happy with it. Maybe if you want, you can keep the animation as 1 second, but I think it was a little too long for me. But it's up to you. I mean, it's like it should. That's how it should be. Like, you are being hit, and it's real fast, and then coming back here. I think I'm okay with that. So that's about it, and that's about your taking damage and the blood splash effect. And the next video, we're going to start bringing in the new characters, and we're going to start setting up the animations. So it's about to get a little more complex than what we're doing right now. Okay, so we jumped into the HUD first because we wanted to show something on the screen, and we also wanted this to work. So now that this is out of the way, we can actually focus on animations, and then we'll revisit the HUD part for adding the fancy graphics for the health bar and everything else, and that concerns the HUD. Okay, I'll see you in the next video where we'll start working with animations. Thank you.